I want to ask you your story. What brought you into chiropractic? How did chiropractic improve your life?
I've been to an amount of doctors, and they were basically sending me back and forth. I know that is not my profession. You have to go there. You have to do that. And then I thought, okay, I give an alternative way a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine, she said, I know someone and I'm certain he can help you. And this is how I ended up at Dr. Styers. So he worked with me, on me, for about 1.5 years. And I really enjoyed seeing those symptoms disappear. And he also made me come closer to myself again.
Yes, beautiful. And so then, is this your first time at Discover, or have you been to other Healing Fest events with Dr. Styers?
No, it's my first time. And what I'm doing when I'm in bed in the night, just before I fall asleep, I try to figure out how to explain the experience to others. And what I really, really love about this journey is meeting all kinds of different people, very like-minded, and each perspective is really, really inspiring.
Mm-hmm. So what was in your life that you were looking for answers, that you were looking for help and hope? What was going on? What brought you into that place of searching?
Well, first, I tried to find the answers for my problems or for my challenges at regular doctors, and I couldn't get an answer. And then I realized, oh, well, maybe it's not about the answers. Maybe it's about the process behind those answers.
Yes.
And that is what brought me here, the process.
So if you were willing, would you share some of the challenges that you were experiencing?
Yeah. So luckily, I've never been severely sick, but it's like needle sticks, just back pain here, headache here, swollen fingers, or just a heavy body, not really able to move the way I used to move, like 10 years ago, for example. And I couldn't accept the answer that it's age. And those needles or those small pains, they summed up and made me feel pretty uncomfortable, because whenever I thought, okay, now I feel better again, something else appeared.
And I think that a lot of people don't necessarily combine those signs into something that is neurological.
Yeah.
But when we think about the brain and spinal cord being connected to all of the peripheral nerves everywhere, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So what were you doing in your life during that time? What was your profession?
So I was in the last years of being an officer in the army. And then it was just the shift towards being self-employed.
That sounds like a stressful time.
It was.
Yeah. To think of all of the things. Were you changing where you were living as well?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So changing a lot of things in your life, that's a lot of physical stress, but I'm sure that was a lot of mental and emotional stress.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier a little bit about identity, and that's an identity shift as well, to go from I am an officer to I am self-employed. Yeah, tell us more about what was that experience like, neurologically even.
So what was probably one of the most shaking experience was, even though the military is a dangerous background, it has so much safety. Someone takes care of you. Someone takes care that you're getting paid, that you have an accommodation. Someone makes sure that you move from one place to another. And out of a sudden, I realized, as a self-employed project manager, no one will do that for me any longer. And that was yeah, security was gone within a couple of months.
Yes. And you had been in the military for a lot of your adult life, it sounds like.
12 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think too, with being self-employed, the amount of decisions that you have to make, you said in the military, you didn't have to decide a lot of different things.
Well, as an officer, I had to.
Okay, yes.
But the value or the depth of decisions was different. Most of the time, I decided for people. And then when I left the army, I had to decide for myself. And I had to figure out, who am I without this security net, without an organization that is built based on effort, based on loyalty. And that was quite interesting. And it made me realize I'm so much more than just an officer or than just an army or a member of the army. That is also the interesting part of this healing festival. It feels like I'm discovering more and more of my layers here.
Yes. So what was the timing of your first adjustment? Were you still in the military?
No, it was 3 years after the military.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also made me realize how challenging the time in the military was for my body, all this heavy weight, not just, the backpack itself, but also the responsibility for others. Yeah, and the first adjustment was 2 years in my self-employment.
Okay, yes. I think sometimes we find that as we heal, it's a little scary to be that vulnerable.
Yeah.
And to find the things that we survived.
Yeah.
That we thought, I don't need to process that. And then we find there's a corner of our nervous system where we just packaged it up and shoved it away. What was your healing experience like? Was it slow and gradual? Did you feel like there was a moment where you really had a breakthrough? What was that?
Yes, I had a breakthrough. My breakthrough was realizing that in order to come to my core, or to the core of who I am, I have to go through different layers of myself. And I realized that this is a journey that isn't finished, and probably it will never finish, because after the last layer, the next layer is waiting. And as a project manager, I like to finish things. Check, yes. So what I'm doing now is I celebrate every moment of reaching another layer, knowing that there will be another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have heard it said that healing is like an onion. There's lots of layers, and you will cry. It'll sting a little bit. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about this Discover event and what you have experienced so far, that you have thought all night long about what it's been like.
Yeah. So the first thing I will tell my family when I come home is that I have been together for a whole week with like-minded people, and every single person is a single puzzle piece. And those pieces come together so peacefully and very inspiring. And sure, also disrupting my reality. But I never expected it to be, a calm ride. And that is actually the reason why I came. I wanted to change something inside of me.
So, in coming to Discover, what has it been like for you on the inside? What has been changing, growing?
So I realized once more that it's my responsibility, that I am as healthy as possible. And being here made me more confident. And I feel like I'm more in my own middle. And I realized it doesn't hurt to say no. I realized that even though something might feel uncomfortable, the relief afterwards, for example, going through an exercise or a group happening, that it feels very relieved. And I also think, especially being with all those individuals here, it also puts things into perspective, and it put my stuff into perspective, which doesn't make it better or worse than others, but it made me more humble. No.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, you're welcome.